Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Zeeology. This is Zeeshan Sarwer, scholar of biology. Today I am going to discuss how to learn and understand the Calvin cycle in easiest and logical way. So let's begin. The Calvin cycle starts when a compound RUBP means ribulose bisphosphate accept atmospheric carbon dioxide and form 3-phosphoglycerate. Now, how this reaction takes place? So, remember that ribulose bisphosphate is a 5-carbon compound. Each ribulose bisphosphate molecule contains 5 carbon atoms. As it's a bisphosphate, remember that bis means 2. So bisphosphate means 2 phosphorus. So the phosphorus is attached on the terminal carbon of ribulose bisphosphate. What happens here? Actually, 3 molecules of ribulose bisphosphate react with 3 molecules of atmospheric carbon dioxide and form 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate. So, to understand this reaction, look at the simple addition. So, RUBP is a 5-carbon compound. So, let's draw the 5-carbon. As 3 molecules are taking part in this reaction, so write it 3 times. This, and the phosphorus at its terminal carbon, so add phosphorus. So 3 molecules of ribulose bisphosphate adding 3 molecules of carbon dioxide. So right here, carbon dioxide molecules. What happens here? After the addition of carbon dioxide in ribulose bisphosphate, the 5-carbon compound convert into 6-carbon compound like this. So it's just a simple addition. When the 1 carbon dioxide from the outside add into the ribulose bisphosphate, the 5-carbon compound convert into 6-carbon compound. And the phosphorus which are present on the terminal remain same. So this 6-carbon compound is highly unstable compound, and as it forms, it get break. It immediately broken down into equal half. So how this cleave into molecules? This 6-carbon compound cleave into 3-carbon molecule. So note this. First molecule, so first molecule, second one, third one, so it's third one, fourth, so it's fourth, fifth, and sixth. So, and the terminal carbons contain phosphorus, so the terminal carbon contain phosphorus. This newly formed compound is known as 3-phosphoglycerate, or it is shortly named as 3-PGA, 3-phosphoglyceric acid. So after the addition of carbon dioxide into ribulose bisphosphate, they form 6 molecules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 3-PGA form when 3 carbon dioxide are added into 3 molecules of ribulose bisphosphate. Okay, and this reaction is performed by an enzyme known as a Rubisco. Rubisco is the most abundant protein found on earth. So what happens next? Now, the 3 phosphoglycerates mean 3-PGA. The structure of 3-PGA is just like this. 3 carbon and phosphorus its third carbon. Why this is called 3-PGA? This is called 3-PGA because 3-PGA means it's a 3 carbon compound containing phosphorus at its carbon number 3. Okay? Therefore, it's known as the 3-PGA, 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Now, this 3-phosphoglyceric acid is phosphorylated by the ATP. So, like this, when the 3-phosphoglycerate is treated with ATP, the one atom of ATP adds on the carbon number 1 to form to form 1,3-bis phosphoglyceric acid. So after the addition of ATP into 3-phosphoglyceric acid, it's converted into 1,3-bis phosphoglyceric acid. So remember that bis means 2. So bis phosphor means 2 phosphorus, and 1 mean the 1 phosphorus is present on the carbon number 1, and 3 mean 1 phosphorus is present on the carbon number 3. So after the phosphorylation, it forms 3-PGA converted into 1,3-bis phosphoglycerate. Shown as. So remember that how many molecules were taking participate in this reaction? 6. So after the addition of phosphorylation, there would be 6 molecules of 1,3-bis phosphoglycerate, and the 3-phosphoglycerate is phosphorylated by 6 ATP. So in the next step, 1,3-bis phosphoglycerate is reduced into sugar. And how this happens? Remember that 1,3-bis phosphoglycerate is a carboxylic acid compound. It contains a carboxylic acid functional group. So it's not a sugar, but a sugar has a carbonyl compound. Sugar would be an aldehyde or a ketone. So this is the formula of sugar. So when the carboxylic acid, when you have to convert carboxylic acid into a sugar, a reduction process is needed. You need a reduction process. And to reduce carboxylic acid into a sugar, you need a reducing agent, which is NADPH, which comes from the light dependent reaction. So what happens here? It's a carboxylic acid and this one is a aldose sugar. So after the addition of NADPH, so let's add the NADPH in 1,3 bisphosphoglycerate, NADPH, NADP plus, and this H. Now, after the addition of NADPH in 1,3 bisphosphoglycerate, it converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, shown as 3 carbon and phosphorus at its carbon number 3. It is also shortly known as G3P, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So what happens here? There are 6 molecules were present or taking participation in this reaction. So 6 molecules of NADPH are required and 6 H released, 6 NADP plus, and the sugar form, that is 6 molecule. So G3P form, they are 6 in number. So note that glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate contains just 1 phosphorus, while 1,3 bisphosphoglycerate contains just 2 phosphorus. So what about the other phosphorus? So during reduction, a molecule of phosphorus get released. So there are 6 molecules in this reaction. So 6 atoms of inorganic phosphate get released during this reduction. So what happens next? There forms 6 molecules of G3P. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate are 6 in number, and 1 from 6 G3P, 1 G3P get released, and 5 molecule of G3P remains in the cycle. So what happens next is this 5 molecule of G3P rearrange themselves to form ribulose bisphosphate. And how this rearrangement happens? To understand this step, look at the board please, and and see, G3P is a 3-carbon compound. So it's a 3-carbon compound. There are 5 molecules of G3P. So write it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So phosphorus at its carbon number 3. So add phosphorus at carbon number 3. So what happens here? There are 5 molecules of 3-carbon compound. They arrange themselves. They arrange themselves into 3 molecules of 5-carbon compound. So if you count that there are 5 molecules of 3-carbon compound, there are 15 carbons, and in this side there are 3 molecules of 5-carbon compound, that is also is equal to 15 carbon. So the total number of carbons remains same. So it's just a arrangement of 5 molecules of 3 carbon into 3 molecules of 5 carbon. So I hope you can understand this concept. And there are 5 phosphorus here. So, but there are 3 molecules. So 3 phosphorus are added. But what about the 2 phosphorus? So there are 5 molecules, so 5 phosphorus, but there are 3 molecules are forming, so there are 3 phosphorus. But what about the 2 phosphorus? So here 2 phosphorus, 2 inorganic phosphorus get released. So now this newly formed compound is known as RUP, ribulose phosphates. Remember that it's not a bisphosphate. Bis means 2, but here is ribulose phosphate. There is just a single phosphorus. So to convert ribulose phosphate into ribulose bisphosphate, you need to add ATP. 3 molecules of ATP. So what happens here is, when you add 3 molecules of ATP, the phosphorus from ATP acts on the carbon number 1, and ribulose bisphosphates, on treatment of ATP, it converts into ribulose bisphosphate. And now the G3P converted into ribulose bisphosphate, and the cycle comes where it was started. So that is all about this cycle. If you note that there is the formation of a G3P, that is a triose. G3P contains 3 carbon, as it is a triose, it's a sugar. But if you note the equation of photosynthesis, you will find that there is a glucose, which is a 6 carbon compound. So here we are having G3P, which is a triose. So what happens here is, G3P from one cycle added into G3P coming from another cycle and added to form a 6 carbon compound or a glucose, which is a hexose. This one is a hexose. Okay, now the 3 carbon plus 3 carbon form a 6 carbon compound, which is a glucose. So you need 2 cycles to form a glucose molecule, which each cycle contains 3 carbon dioxide, which are added in 3 molecules of ribulose bisphosphate. So if you write this cycle in just one line, then you will find that you are adding just carbon dioxide, ATP molecules, and ADPH. So remember that here you have also added 3 ATP molecule to phosphorylate ribulose phosphate into ribulose bisphosphate. So let's count this. So what we have done is, we have introduced 3 carbon dioxide molecule and ATP. How many ATP we have introduced in this cycle? 6 ATP and 3 ATP. Total 9 ATP. And last thing we have introduced in this cycle is 6 NADPH for this reduction into sugar. So 6 NADPH. So what comes after this addition? After this addition, we came with 1 molecule of G3P and 9 molecule of ADP plus 8 molecule of inorganic phosphorus. So one phosphorus is the part of G3P. Okay, so the 9 ATP converted into 9 ADP and 8 phosphorus, inorganic phosphorus, get released, plus 6 NADP plus. And there also release 3 molecules of water. 3 molecules of water. Okay. Now, from where these 3 molecules of water came, the water molecule comes when the 1,3-bis phosphoglycerate reduced into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphorus. During this reaction, water gets released. So 3 molecules of water generate during the cycle. So for 1 molecule of glucose, you need to multiply this equation with 2. So for glucose molecule, you need 6 carbon dioxide plus 18 ATP and 12 NADPH for just 1 molecule of glucose. So this is the energy required by 1 glucose molecule, which is 18 ATP and 12 NADPH. So if you look at the cycle, you will find that there are 3 main steps that are happening in this cycle. Which one is? The first one is carbon dioxide fixation. So it was the first step in which carbon dioxide from the atmosphere get added into ribulose bisphosphate to form a 3-phosphoglycerate. So the first step was the carbon dioxide fixation. So the second step was the reduction process in which 1,3-bis phosphoglycerate is converted into a glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So here we have a reduction. So this process is known as a reduction. So this is the second step of this cycle. So the next step is the regeneration of RUBP from 5 molecule of G3P. So this step of cycle is known as a reduction phase. So this is the third and the final step of this cycle. So this cycle was discovered by a scientist, Melvin Calvin, in the 1950s. So after the discovery of this cycle were named onto the scientist known as the Calvin cycle. And the Melvin Calvin was awarded by a Nobel Prize in 1961. So this cycle is known as the Calvin cycle, and there is also another name, that is C3 pathway. C3 pathway, because the first carbon formed during this cycle is the stable compound form is 3 carbon compound. Therefore, it's known as a C3 pathway. So that is the easiest trick to learn and understand the Calvin cycle in easiest and logical way. If you have any query, if you have any questions, then you can comment me. So thanks for today.